Hey guys, Longren from Frisbee Gaming. Welcome back. So we are continuing on from where we left off. All the mercenaries leveled up, so I went ahead and leveled them up. Did a little bit of healing, and let's see if we can finish up the Great Garrison.
Time to practice my combat abilities.
Let's go ahead and take the 2 shots. No one's close by them. Oh wow. Okay. Nicely done. No, I can't reach. That's okay. Oh. Well, that's gonna be a problem. We put him to sleep? No, he's immune to sleep. That's what I thought. We're gonna go ahead and engage. Okay.
Stab their backs.
No! Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cleave. Oh, we didn't reach him. That's unfortunate. Oh well, I still only get 1 attack.
Let's hear you cry.
Yeah, since he's got the highest HP.
This will hurt.
Oh man.
Die!
Nice.
So it comes to this.
Ugh. Oh, I forgot to use his defensive spin. Oh, crap. Not that it actually matters.
I'll loot your corpse.
Seriously? Okay. Can you get him? There we go.
A calculated risk.
There's the miss.
Hear you cry.
You've made your choice.
Oh, he actually hit me.
Your death.
Oh, one hit isn't bad. Anyone got anything worth taking? Nope.
A trivial matter.
This ancient font once sanctified water for church rituals, but demons have befouled it. By filling the basin with human intestines, its holy power might return should someone cleanse this place. Oh, look. That's exactly what we did.
Why did you drag me here, you wench? To mock me one last time?
Oh, that's...
Go! Finish me! Drink my blood! Devour my soul! Just get on with it. Let me die at last.
Staunton, light of my life, don't be so silly. I could never hurt you. I brought you away from the battle to save you. My love, you don't belong in this grubby city where everyone hates you. Come away with me. You know I have always loved you.
You lying filth! You have the gall to say that to my face? But it was you. It was all you. You're the reason I lost everything. You're the reason why everyone despises me.
So it was me who brought shame upon you in front of the people you called friends? It was me who mocked you year after year, spat on you, forced you to do dirty, demeaning work like you were a drudge, and not the bravest of knights.
Aw, he's asleep.
No, it was all of them. The Crusaders
Sorry,
and their
one of our cats is in the room with me and he's sleeping
If
very
you
cutely.
remember the day Dresden fell, I asked you to be its new ruler. You refused, of course. You and your principles. But look what's become of you. My offer still stands. Come away from here, my love. You will rule Dresden as a king, and I will be your queen.
She lied to you before and she's lying to you now.
Listen to this. The deceitful queen servant has the gall to call me a liar. You know the truth, my sweet. I am the only one who has never lied to you.
Staunton gets to his feet and looks at the little two with a strange expression on his face. A mountain would sooner weep than this grim dwarf, but tears now well in his eyes.
Dearest, it's all right. I'm here. We'll never be parted again. Let's go. Come.
Get back! Ah!
Grasping his weapon, Staunton slashes at Monago's eyeless face, and with surprising agility for one of his stature, flees up the stairs.
Curses! Ugh. Stubborn as a mule. Never mind, my pet. Never mind. You won't get far. You will kiss this scratch and beg for forgiveness. You will be mine. Wholly, eternally, and willingly.
Nah, I don't think so, Monago. Oh, I missed a lot. Oh, this must be on the bottom level.
Enemy approaching!
Can you get him from there?
Cover me!
That's okay.
Aim carefully.
You won't be able to reach in this round either. Great. This is not going to be good. Okay, we're going to charge in. And of course we're going to miss.
Run them through!
Got to hit outside.
Stab their backs.
Forwards!
Gotta be kidding me. Oh my god! No, he just does it automatically.
I'll just have to resort to brute force.
This is my chance to run!
Oh wow.
This should do it.
Let's see if I can put him to sleep. Of course he saves.
Solid trap.
All I need to roll is a 3 on my main character and he can't connect. This
So
is
it comes to this.
absolutely insane.
I feel faint.
Let's try this way.
Am I seriously gonna lose this one too? Jesus.
Out of my way!
You've made your choice.
mistake.
This will hurt. Die!
No fear!
A calculated risk. Let's hear you cry.
Ugh.
I'll just have to resort to brute force.
This should do it. Run them through.
2 damage. Okay.
So it comes to this.
Let's try this way.
Oh my god, have any of them rolled over fucking single digits the whole time?
You made your choice.
This will hurt. Die!
No fear!
This was not part of the plan.
Like she was contributing anyways.
Let's hear you cry.
I'll just have to resort to brute
Oh,
force.
now you miss. Great.
This is unexpected.
This is unbelievable. I cannot believe this is literally what it's come to.
Tread lightly.
And of course I'm rolling low on the stuff to heal him with. Yep, that just fits perfectly.
All this waiting bores me.
Success.
Upon entering the chamber where the vanquished Wardstone resides, the Crusaders could have expected many things: an ambush, deadly spells, or horde of enemies, but not an empty hall, still and silent, with no Monago or henchmen, only the obelisk and glimmers of light dancing on the dirty floor. But then again, all is not as placid as it seems. Zalelch once again hears the seething choir. This time, the voices sound louder, more insistent. One step, another, and suddenly Zalelch sees the Wardstone, not as it was a moment ago, but somehow completely different. It is no monolith emanating light. It is a cage made of pure energy. The place where Discari struck it looks like a festering wound from which the tendrils of dirty red and purple darkness creep throughout the entire artifact. And there, inside, 2 hosts of flaming warriors are locked in battle. One is light, the other blood red. But they are all waiting. For what? Hearken unto the Light Warriors' words. The Light Warriors speak of duty, service, and sacrifices made. Their words reveal the truth of the Wardstones. Each one contains a host of angels, volunteers from heaven who committed to this indefinite imprisonment in order to guard mortal kind from the demonic threat. They make no complaint, they ask for no easing of their burden. If the goddess and her herald offer them the same choice again, they would consider it the ultimate honor to sacrifice their freedom for the cause. The angels know Discari's evil plan. When the last of the Light Warriors fall, the Wardstone will become a deadly explosive that will destroy everything around it, and the other obelisks in the chain will meet the same fate. The Light Warriors pray for help. They plead for someone to strike down their fallen brethren. Those who succumb to the demonic corruption are already beyond salvation, but if they are stopped, it will allow the Wardstone to heal and the Light Host to continue its duty. The crystal chisel discovered in the ruins of Canabras is the ideal weapon for this task. It will cut out the corruption along with those who have succumbed to it, and restore the Wardstone's full power. The eyes of the Aeon, until now slumbering peaceful in the hero's soul, awaken. They urge the hero to look upon the Wardstone through them. The Aeon's eyes wish to see. Hearken unto the Red Warriors. The Red Warriors speak of pain and lies and disillusionment. Their words reveal the truth of the Wardstones. The barrier surrounding the Whirlwind is built on the bondage and suffering of countless angels. Every injury dealt to the Wardstone, these angels experience as physical agony. The pain is driving them insane. Deceived by the hollow platitudes about duty and service, they suffer torment day after day for the sake of ungrateful mortals who do not even know their names. Enough! The Red Warriors know that their blades, now turned against their former brethren, hasten the triumph of Discari and his servants. Once the Wardstone has been wholly corrupted by corruption, or conquered by corruption, it will become a deadly weapon under the demon's control. Some of the Obelisk's prisoners beg for freedom, while others pray only for death, but they all agree that this existence is unendurable. The crystal chisel, discovered in the ruins of Canabras, is the perfect weapon for a massacre. It cannot force open the door for those who wish to escape, but it can destroy the Wardstone along with all its prisoners, willing and unwilling. None will be able to claim victory, but all will be gifted a merciful death that will end their suffering once and for all. We're going to look at the angels with the Aeon's eyes. The eyes of the Aeon pierce through essence, matter, and time to reveal the truth of the Wardstones. The stones are just as much a perversion of as the Whirlwind itself. The demons are not of this plane, but this did not give Iomade and her herald license to disrupt the balance still further, by imprisoning an untold number of angels in stone. A crime committed in the name of good does not offset those committed in the name of evil. It only multiplies the harm done to the cosmic order. There it is. The fate of two angelic hosts, faithful and fallen, and the fate of Canabras, perhaps even all Mendev, now rest in the hero's hands. How will he proceed? Whatever this crystal chisel may be, its power is indeed great. It can destroy the stone along with all its inhabitants, or it can mend it by killing the angel defectors within. What it cannot do, alas, is free those who wish to escape and keep the stone intact for those who wish to remain. The Aeon's eyes perceive a solution to the goddess's tinkering, one that will cost no lives. One strike with the crystal chisel at the perfect point, and the stone's magic will be destroyed, and all the angels will go to their rightful place, to heaven, or to the planes of chaos and evil. The remnant of the Aeon's power draws all that is left of the Aeon's existence to the hero, urging him to put things right. But somehow, deep within the hero's soul, the familiar ire seethes endless rage, unbridled hatred. What will happen if it is unleashed here at the stone? Unleash the demonic fury, destroy the stone with the angels inside, quell the anger of the Red Warriors by offering them peace, cleanse the Wardstone, destroying the fallen Celestials, wield the stone's magic, and return the Celestials to the rightful plane as the Aeon would have wanted. Ooh, this is... we're going to quell the anger, because I find the Wardstone useful. Zalelch addresses the furious Red Warriors, not in words, but in his intentions and aspirations. The torment-wearied angels see compassion in him, and also a promise of rest. One day, the demons will be driven back. One day, the Whirlwind will vanish, like a nightmare chased away by the spring dawn. One day, the sky above Canabras will once again gleam a dazzling blue. When that day comes, the Wardstones will no longer be needed, and the angels' watch will be at an end. Overcome by this vision, the Red Warriors drop their weapons. With bowed heads, they say their words of farewell and fall into a deep sleep. One that will not be broken until the day this promise is fulfilled and they regain their freedom. The injury inflicted by Discari still gleams scarlet within the Wardstone, but the spread of corruption has been halted. The obelisk fills with vital, healing light. The Crusaders succeeded. The angels' battle within the Wardstone has ended, and the threat to the entire chain of stones has been eliminated. Of course, this has won no guarantees of safety for the future. What happened here can happen again. The Mendevians can no longer rely on Iomede's gift as they once did, but the danger has passed for now. Unable to bear such a flagrant violation of laws of reality, the magical eyes of the Aeon fade away for good. Oh, okay. So, if you don't take the Aeon path there, you can't take it, period. Interesting. This isn't happening, this is a flashback.
Look at them, Suture. They're rejoicing like children. The storm is coming and let them seize it.
Shall we add to their festivities, my lady? How about a little lightning to burn their flesh?
Oh no, Suture. We'll leave such frolics to Discari's little gnats. We are here for something else. Something I have greatly anticipated for a long, long time.
Look familiar. Blisteringly vivid memory releases you, and you return from the depths of the past to the present. You feel a fresh breeze on your face. The energy expelled from the Wardstone has blown the roof off the Great Garrison.
What are you doing here? How? Ah, I see. Tricks from your pathetic goddess. So even Iomedae will resort to dirty tricks when you have her cornered. Don't celebrate yet, mortal. There's no one to hide you from me now. Look, you're already wounded. Pathetic mortal. I'll have no trouble finishing you off now. You'll die anyway.
The demoness looks familiar with her entourage around her, but her threats ring hollow to you now. You look at her and feel like a titan looking at an ant. Overwhelming, all-conquering power fills you. What, that little demoness? Those irritating hordes of the abyss? The gods themselves are your only equals now. Oh, now we're going to have some fun. Well, fun for me. I don't know about you.
We'll see who's having more fun when I've got my claws in you. Your goddess sent you to die. You think that's a victory? All you've done is postpone the deaths of all the other mortals. And not even for very long. But your wait for death is over. You won't see what I'm going to do to your little friends, because I'm going to kill you right now.
None shall escape. Your death.
I don't know if that's intentional or not. If that is, it really bothers me.
Let's hear it.
Out of my way.
Oh, there's another boomerang?
So it comes to this. Attack!
Cover me.
Run them through!
Die.
How funny that weapon's more effective right now.
You've made your choice.
Aim carefully.
Stab their backs.
Is that... Fireball's doing nothing, right?
Out of my way!
Let's go ahead and try again. Oh man, that got super powered.
I'll eat your corpse.
Axel, yes.
Die!
Reduce that AC. Oh, she saved.
No fear! Serve as an example.
Poisoned.
Forwards!
Your death awaits. How are you doing that? Where is your power coming from?
Monago, to me!
Staunton, my darling. I knew you'd come back for me.
Shut it! Get over here now. Get behind me.
The dwarf turns his hard eyes on you. Hard eyes on you.
Step over my dead body first. Killing me won't be a challenge, I know. But I can last long enough to give her time to escape.
The Crusaders were right. You're a traitor. You were always a traitor.
Maybe you're right. But you won't change your mind either way. So why waste my time trying to convince you? No matter what he does, no matter what he says, Staunton Vane will always be considered a traitor. Well then, Staunton Vane will finally be the traitor you've always wanted. Enough talking. Monago, cast your spells and get out of here. I'll hold him off. Quickly, before I change my mind.
No, my sweet. I won't abandon you. We'll leave this place together, and we'll go where we can be happy.
Go. Let me finally. God damn it all! Let's go!
The demon and the traitor vanish in a magical haze. You feel the energy thrumming through your body, and soul start to fade. It doesn't leave you, it hides somewhere deep down, leaving behind a small amount of incredible energy, as well as the understanding that you will one day master that inconceivably huge power. Okay. Pick up all the weapons. Okay.
Make way. Warrior Queen coming through with a round for the heroes. Whoa, the heart is packed. And you considered nixing this little shindig, Beth?
I did consider it, and I am still considering it. It hasn't even been a week since the last demon was booted out of Canabras. And we really should be in a period of mourning for all the city's fallen. But the people deserve to celebrate. And he deserves to be honored for saving the city, and possibly all of Mendov.
It was one hell of a fight.
One hell of a fight calls for one hell of a party.
According to the Watch reports, there has been no demon activity whatsoever outside Canabras. I get the feeling the Fiends are as shocked by what happened as we are. What happened in the garrison, what you did, it was a miracle. I truly believe that the gods remembered us and decided to intervene.
Beth, come on, you agreed. No serious business today.
All right, I'm done. No more. Who would have thought we'd be celebrating a successful attack on the Grey Garrison, our own fortress, and that we'd blow the roof off the place?
It's simply unforgivable.
Comes the cheerful voice of someone sitting at the far corner of the table.
While we're on the topic of the roof, there's already a rumor going around that you have been blessed by Iomade herself. And it was her power granted to you that destroyed the garrison's walls and roof. And it turns out the people want a little piece of that blessing for themselves. The townsfolk are gathering chunks of the garrison's rubble as souvenirs and talismans. And I'm sure they'll hit the black market soon enough. Oh, yeah. Here, breathe on this for me. For good luck.
Drop it immediate. I'm not a messenger sent by the gods.
People who aren't divine messengers don't usually go around taking whole stories off of buildings and blowing packs of demons away. But if that's how you want to play it, then fine. I'm still keeping my stone, though.
Nevi! What are you on about now?
What do you mean? Do you see many people at this table who've been personally blessed by Iomade herself?
Well, a couple perhaps.
Says the same mirthful voice that joined in before.
Iomede's blessings are not conveyed through stones, and as public officials, we really shouldn't.
Erebeth looks to the end of the table where the voice originated, and her eyes widen as her words trail off.
I feel a little chastened after what you said about public officials. But I myself have acquired a few pieces of stone, and also wish to ask our hero to breathe on them for good luck. So, what now? Are you going to toss me out of this fine establishment?
The woman dressed in own showy finery raises her eyebrows.
Your Majesty.
Yes, it is I. I made the journey here to deduct the cost of repairing the garrison roof from your salary. We have not been introduced. Galfrey of Mendev.
The queen has graced us with her presence.
As you can see, yes, I am here.
Your Majesty, we were just... I'll have them arrange.
Calm yourself, Commander. I deliberately came here without any fanfare because I did not wish to draw attention away from our honored hero here. My personal guard and the force I brought with me are standing watch outside the city. I ordered all your sentries to stand down. They also deserve a break. Every person who tirelessly fought to save Canabris will enjoy themselves today. And my reinforcements will ensure peace and order.
Will you join our celebration, Your Majesty?
Please, don't Your Majesty me. We are in a tavern, not my court in Nerosian. Address me as you would any comrade in arms. Concerning the celebration, as you can see, I already invited myself. I couldn't pass up the chance to meet the new hero all the Crusaders are talking about. And soon, not just Crusaders.
We're here celebrating while the demons might be planning their next campaign.
Oh, I do not doubt that, even for a moment. But we will not give them another chance to catch us off our guard. It is time to turn back the tide.
Your Majesty, my dear cousin.
Count, I admit I was surprised to learn that you valiantly joined the ranks of the city's defenders. Pleasantly surprised.
I live to please you, my queen. My first thought when Discari cruelly robbed us of noble Terendelev and half of Canabris' crusaders in one fell swoop was of you, my queen, and of how these events would weigh heavily on you. No one could have foreseen the demon attack, and we have so successfully held the defense here for 4 heroic crusades.
I'm going to drown him in the nearest well this very night.
I value your dedication and your eloquence. I hope you will continue to aid our soldiers.
Not a chance. You know that I am not made for the front lines. Excellent bash, but alas, I really must go. Important matters to be getting on with. A new shipment of wine from Keonin, and 3 beautiful creatures of the same provenance. But I will most assuredly come to say my farewells before your army departs on its campaign, which, wherever it may lead you, will undoubtedly be crowned with victory.
I shall hold you to that, Count. And now allow me to devote some time to the hero of the evening. I did not come here solely to give you this chance to celebrate.
But all serious discussions and official announcements can wait until tomorrow. I have big, big plans for all of you. Especially for you. But I want to keep you in suspense for a little while longer, so I shan't say another word. Let us mark this victory. My first toast is to you, the hero of Canabris. Now, what are we drinking?
The fires of Canabris have died down. Now the army's path leads to the walls of Dresden, a fallen citadel that the Crusaders have been trying in vain to reclaim for 70 years. The new piece on the board might give their efforts some added momentum.
Okay. So they're going to move us over to the camp. Is that him next to Airbeth, the hero who saved Canabris? The Queen is coming! The Queen!
Rise, warriors. Today is a day of sorrow and pride. Sorrow because we weep for our brothers and sisters who perished in Canabris. Pride because despite demonic treachery, our heroes repelled the attack and saved the city. I, Queen Godfrey of Mendev, declare this day the first day of the Fifth Crusade, and I am glad to introduce the one who will lead the attack on the forces of the Abyss, the hero of Canabris, Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade, your leader from now unto victory or death. And now it's time to rest. Everyone is dismissed.
Everyone return to your orders camps. You heard the Queen. Dismissed.
There. The troop review is finished. I'll give you some time to look around the camp, and then I shall expect your presence at headquarters.
Okay. Commander, please allow me to join you while you inspect our encampment. The old elf smiles when he hears your footsteps. Allow me to congratulate you on your victory and on acquiring mythical powers capable of casting down the strongest of demons. I got the page you're looking for from the Grey Garrison. The storyteller carefully takes the page from your hands. His fingers touch the ancient letters gently, examining them lightly, following their lines. I see. Myself. Young, energetic, able to see. Oh God, have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn. The wrinkles on his face soften. Thank you. And please follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. The storyteller inhales sharply and a few times and begins his story. They are leaving. The people of Keonan faced the coming Earthfall and admitted that they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers. All of them hurry to the gate of Savorian, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for Golorian. I am ashamed, and I am sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of the catastrophe, but my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk were looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree bark cover. In case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watch the gate of the Savorian stone close, separating me from them. It is time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about traveling between worlds, in case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shouldered voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart and find my way to Savorian. That will never happen. My mouth set stubbornly. I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I use my forced pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. Why did the elves decide to flee, not fight? Storytellers' lips purse with disdain. They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful, that valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. Your mentor is a mage? Then you must be too, yes? Yes, I am an archmage, and this title is well-deserved. I have acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many areas of magic. But curiosity has always pushed me toward new knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. What is the Savorian Stone? A magnificent crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator, our great gate to other worlds. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. Why are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent many hundreds of years in Kionin. I have always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was our home, but the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. But I love Golarion. All its places, all the forms it manifests in. I traveled widely, and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels. But they weren't interested. They only cared about Kionin. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. What happened next? Earthfall happened at night. I'm standing at the top of my tower, many miles to the north of Kionin, and I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock rushing down on my world. And then, a blow. Vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down to the bowels of Golarion and up to the vaults of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst blood vessels filling my eyes with darkness. Drowning in timelessness along with countless denizens of Golarion. Never before have we been so united in our feelings. So, Earthfall is the name given to the cataclysmic event in which a shower of meteorites impacted Golarion in 5293. It resulted in the destruction of the human empires of the Thessalon, Aslant, which were consumed by earthquakes and massive tidal waves, and the creation of the Inner Sea. The cloud of dust thrown up by Earthfall's impact settled in Golarian's upper atmosphere and blotted out the sun for 1,000 years, creating the Age of Darkness. When I come round, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind. But no, little by little, I begin to see the stone wall. I am alive. Why is it so dark? The answer is quick. The smell of ashes everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslant. Aslant is a lost continent in the Arcadian Ocean that was the first center of human culture in Golarion, brought together by the intelligence of the ancient aquatic race of Abelis. Aslanti society and culture grew by leaps and bounds until their arrogant leaders began to think of themselves as superior to their inhuman masters. In retribution, the Abelis called down the meteor shower known as Earthfall in 5293, sinking the entire continent and condemning Golarion to the Age of Darkness. Now all that remains of the once mighty continent are a string of islands and atolls spread across a large swath of the mid-Arcadian Ocean. Great clouds of ash cover the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon, dooming us to dusk at days and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall, proudly, like the last Archmage of Kionin should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I am still alive, and I can fight Earthfall and the darkness, not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I will hardly be able to save empires from their destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. What is Earthfall? A disaster of untold proportions. An unborn planet dropped in Golarion by blind fate or someone's evil will. A blow so strong that the continent of Aslan is destroyed within moments, turned to ashes, wiped off the face of Golarion. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust were born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools, the soil is barren. Dark creatures crawl out of their lairs to rule. And the most frightening thing, without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the Age of Darkness. The 1,000-year period in which the sun's light was blocked by the ash knocked into the atmosphere by the meteoric impacts of Earthfall. It began with a rain of meteorites summoned from the sky by powerful magic in 5293, and lasted until the sun's light had been restored, roughly a millennium later. During the Age of Darkness, all major civilizations across Golarion were destroyed, ushering in a time of anarchy and destruction. What was that tower you mentioned? It's my retreat to the north of Kionin. My home away from home, my observatory. From its top, I watched the stars, and, when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here, in the northern wastelands, I found the highest mountain and built a tower on top of it. On clear days, I could see the mist over the lake of mists and veils in the east. That's how high I was. What are you going to do next? I don't know. I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the storyteller raises his voice to a shout. It is merciless. It does not simply destroy life. It kills an era, ending the greatness of Galarian civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten as if they never existed. I need to think. The elf suddenly winces and is silent for a few moments as he calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me, I shouldn't have raised my voice. This story was much harder than many before it, most likely because I played the main role in it. It's so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing up inside me. Those that I felt a long time ago, and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings on your travels, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we will find out how my story ended, and perhaps even why I forgot. Thank you for your stories. Please examine the items I'm carrying, and then we're gonna have him restore. The elf cautiously uncorks the vials and begins to work his enchantments. The essence evaporates, turning into light that streams onto the buckle. The light thickens, becoming gold. The Covenant of the Inheritor. That is the name of this relic. This buckle once adorned the belt of a glorious knight from Mendev. It is the embodiment of a promise made to a young girl by a powerful deity. A great promise that has changed much in the world. When you touch the restored relic, a strange vision comes to you. It's as if you can see the events that happened to it in the past. A burning sensation spreads across your chest from the very spot where your mysterious wound sometimes opens. What is this? The influence of the storyteller's spells? Or is it something else? I had a vision. The old elf frowns. How strange. You are a remarkable mortal. No one has ever shared my visions before. What do you think caused it? Perhaps these things have something to do with your destiny, or the fate of someone related to you. I do not have an answer, only advice. Seek out such relics. Look for what links them all, and you will know the truth. We have important things to do. Have you decided to join the Crusade? I have decided not to, I'm afraid. My path and the path of the Crusade lead in the same direction. But alas, they are not one and the same. After the demons were driven away from Canabras, the path into the Whirlwind became open, if only temporarily. I am planning on using this opportunity to visit. The elf falls silent. It doesn't matter now. I'd hate to bore you with the details of my venture, which may prove useless even for myself. However, I'll try to return to the Crusaders and aid them in their confrontation with the demons after I'm done. I hope to meet you again in this world rather than the next. I have to go. I wish you interesting adventures. Let's talk to Ninja. I hope we meet Discaria and Baphomet soon. I have numerous questions for them.
Follow my steps.
This is mine and Anivia's tent. We're both used to traveling, but the Queen insisted our tent be furnished like a commanding officer's. Yes, I am stealing your shit right from her. This massive bed is clean and neatly made. Only commanding officers are allowed such luxury during marches. Half plate of vigor. Where'd it go? Same AC, but I get a +2 bonus to Constitution. Taking that. We'll give Sela the... No. Can't. That's right, yeah. We'll give it to you. You'll get the full plate. Why is your dexterity so low? Oh, whatever. Was this one blocker? Does he already have? Yeah, he's already got one. Okay, so we're gonna kit out the story companions while we can. Actually, I'll do that off screen. That's a lot of wasted time.
Let's head out.
These are the fighters of the Eagle Watch. I personally chose every one that's standing here, and I'm ready to vouch for each of them. So many of our own have perished. And for what? For us to keep fighting. For a day to come when no one else will have to die.
Let us be careful.
Ah, there you are, you dashing troublemaker, you. Daron flashes you a self-satisfied smile. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon you will depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by in horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep amidst snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by the freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs before you finally perish in the maw of some demon. I have a journey ahead of me too. I've just rented a sailboat to the south. I've also hired an excellent chef, and a host of other entertainments. Well, to each their own, I suppose. Daron pauses, then slowly adds in a more serious voice, You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim. But you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together. But, of course, Daron grimaces. Not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have at each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. I'll be blunt. You don't intrigue me. Not in the way you obviously had in mind. But you are a valuable companion. You could have stayed in my party. Who? Me? Where? In this in this army? Daron offers a doubtful smile. You must be joking. Of course I won't stay. Who in his right mind would trade a luxurious and carefree life for this crusade? In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes it does one the good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on the most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or, if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Daron smirked before instantly losing all interest in you. Or at least he pretends to. This is Nura Denduar's tent. It seems she brought a lot of unnecessary items along with her. These are the Knights of Canabras, all that's left of the orders that were billeted into this, billeted in the city. Jeez. First Airbith, now another upstart commander? Our queen sure does like them up behind the ears. What did you say, sir? Nothing, Commander Tierbig. Happy to serve.
Tread lightly.
Chapel 10. We outfitted this tent to be used as a chapel. Even the less pious crusaders will come here to say their prayers when the final battle is upon us. I've seen it happen in my previous campaigns.
I'm gone.
Field medic. This is the field hospital. Alas, the clerics of Canabra suffered especially heavy losses. So we're in desperate need of healers. We are few, but the gods are with us. The prayers of the good people around the world are with us. Dear lady, you've been standing a long time. Standing here for a long time. Would you like some help? Me? Please act like I'm not here. I just like to watch people work. Let me see. Orthopraxy. It means things should be done right, not slapdash. Beautiful day, isn't it? I didn't realize she'd been in there. Oh, man. Group of soldiers is talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So picture this. My sword is by the fire, these 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more digging through my tent. And I'm sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail, once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go into the bushes without my sword. So what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know. So they went all wild and started running around. I spot my sword, and they spot me. So I jump over the fire, wearing nothing but my mail shirt. I grab my sword, and I yell in a big voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures!" My sword's shining, the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them, and they fight back. But I fought them off somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Sela takes a sip from the flask. That's some story. Hey, stop gulping. Leave some for the rest of us. We've only just set off and you're already drinking? And with the queen in the camp? Stop this at once. The knights quickly snap to attention. Sela raises the flask and says loudly, "Right you are, Commander Tirabade. We are but drinking to the queen's health." Take Sela's flask. Give me a sip too. To her majesty's health. Irbeth rubs her forehead with the palm of her hand. Commander, are you sure this is the right way to train your soldiers? Never mind, it's your business.
Follow my steps.
This is dumb. I don't care about this. I'm to be played by a gnome. Cyclops actor. Alright, I made my decision. I'm played by the gnome twins. There's Darren. Supply train and this, yeah. Do you know the queen does, what the queen does to people who keep her waiting? I don't know, but I don't want to find out. Okay, so we're gonna, oh no, that's right. I need to outfit everybody later. Queen is expecting you, Knight Commander, so I shall not detain you. We can talk later after our sovereign departs. Why is there hardtack in the barrels that are supposed to be filled with corned beef? I demand answers. Did I get everybody? I think I got to everybody. The Queen greets you with a stare. She has dropped the pompous air with which she announced the Fifth Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendiv appears calm and thoughtful. She has made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomedae herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Bainik.
The queen nods at the human man and the young halfling woman standing next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomedae also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons! I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it!
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
When we met at the Defender's Heart, I never imagined you making me the commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the Crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Did you know the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual Celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomedae's herald erected the first Wardstone in Kenobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts. But my faith in Iomedae easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works. Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the Wardstone in Kenobris, and were able to save this gift of Iomedae. It was a deed worthy of a Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
You should know I received an unusual gift in the cave beneath Canabras. In a vision, I saw the death of an angel called Lariel. Somehow he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the world wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on this special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
I have some questions about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course. I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying ton was all they needed to succeed. the demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
Staunton Vane. I saw him at the Grey Garrison. He defected to the demon side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting. I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
Karak, you should have exiled him. Let him go wherever he wanted. That way he would have either changed his life for the better or realized he had no one to blame but himself.
Perhaps exile would have been a more merciful sentence than decades of service among those who despised him. I was hoping he might atone for his guilt with a heroic act, but he likely decided that atonement was impossible, and he might as well give himself over to evil.
What forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demon's plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the world wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold. The very threshold of the Abyss.
I have no more questions.
Wonderful.
And what are you going to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Neurosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
Thank you for your reply.
Of course.
The task is clear.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable. Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
What a wonderful gesture, Your Majesty. I imagine your dear Count would have been inconsolable if you hadn't given him this chance to serve the common cause.
I knew you would approve, Commander.
The Queen bestows a smile on you, then brings her gaze to rest on Dayron once more.
I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself.
Oh, sleepy time?
Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Then let's get going. May Ayomade help us.
Okay. Anything to say? Anivia sweeps an inquisitive glance over you. So, tell me straight, how'd that brawl at the Grey Garrison end? I heard the rumors, of course. That's kind of my job, you know, to listen. You've no idea what cobblers the Crusaders say about you. Some said that Ayomade came to you and appointed you her herald. Others say that you died, and honest-to-God's angel is now leading the army disguised as you. Still others say it was just an explosion in an alchemist lab, and I'm the one spreading rumors about your powers. I wish. But, you know, you really have changed since the Grey Garrison. It's hard to describe, but you've kind of become more dangerous. Yeah, exactly. More dangerous. I have a gut instinct about these things. If I didn't, I'd already be dead. You're dangerous, Commander. And by Desna, I hope you'll be dangerous to our enemies and not to us. Or to yourself. I have to go. Alright, you watch yourself now. Okay, one of the first things we need to do is rest. Oh, I should have done that after I leveled everybody up. Yeah, we're gonna do that after we level everybody up. Okay. So two things that we need to do first. So we need to go talk to Leo Tor. Oh, three things, I'm sorry. Commander! A tall man with piercing yellow-green eyes gives you a brief nod. Let me personally congratulate you on your new title, and thank you for your time in advance. I am Leodor Hawkblade, an Inquisitor of the Church of Ayomade, the Bringer of Light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, young Count Dayron Arende. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Ayomade in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the Crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I'm calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts for a moment. I suppose that you've already heard about Count Arende's story. I refer to the tragedy at Heaven's Edge Estate. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate, and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mendev before the world wound. And yet, on that day, it turned to a labyrinthine house of horrors, like something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Canabras for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead, with their heads cut off, and we got into the estate. How were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demons had found a way to penetrate the Holy Warrior's defenses, why has this never been reported since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You're the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very site of the tragedy, Heaven's Edge. Has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all the years, and only the Count has the power to break that seal. He is unlikely to invite Inquisitor inside, and in any case, he won't like me sniffing around his family's seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he will be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, and myriad loopholes in human lives that the forces of evil can use to their advantage. I am not sure which one of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it was not a simple raid, the kind Crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity, and that is why I'm asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. You've already been to the estate several times. What do you expect to find now? I was a young and inexperienced Inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I have paid dearly for that. Leader makes a vague gesture pointing at his scars. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present in the place where the event in question happened. That is why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you just search the estate yourself without involving me? The estate is abandoned and sealed with powerful containment enchantments that only the Count himself can lift. This is not the main reason, however. The main reason is that Count Arendelle is not officially under investigation by the Inquisition, so I couldn't just break into his house even if I found a way to bypass the spells. This is a serious matter, Theodore frowns. A matter that threatens the reputation of the entire Church of Iomedae, and my organization in particular. We made more than enough unforgivable mistakes during the Third Crusade, and are still dealing with their consequences. Your presence will give my investigation the necessary legitimacy, Commander. But there is more. In addition to getting official permission, I'd also like to bring an independent third-party investigator to this case. Someone independent, but well-respected. And you fit this role perfectly. Did you question Jaron himself? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to a severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning when they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Selena. That was all he would tell me. Leodor pauses. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family wine cellar all by himself. There is no reason to disbelieve him on the matter. So you suspect Daron is hiding something? That he is to blame for the tragedy? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions so it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arendelle wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Halloran himself examined the boy right after the tragedy, and he didn't sense anything awry with him. Fine, I will help you. What do you need me to do? Leodor bows his head with exceptional reverence. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask you to speak to the Count and tell him that you wish to see at Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join the escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I will also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me while I remain here for a while. Are you one of Prelate Halloran's followers? Leodor's face freezes for a moment, but he nods. Yes, of course. What is your opinion on his atrocities? Leodor is silent for a while. Excuse me. Usually people reveal such things about themselves only to their confessor, not to some curious stranger. Still, I did ask for your help, and that imposes certain obligations upon me. Let me put it like this. I spent enough years by Prelate Halloran's side to learn how to keep him from going over the line. He was an extraordinary man, the vengeful sword of our goddess in human form. He was fighting in the vanguard, fearlessly taking down demons, exposing the cultist plot all by himself. He had served the Inquisition twice as long as I have, and eventually his own paranoia and monumental sense of responsibility eroded his mind. May Iomedae guard his soul. I have to go. is Socio. There you are.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
A young cleric stands before an easel, his brush hovering over the canvas without touching it. Instead of painting, the young man absentmindedly gazes at the sky of Canabras, which is still streaked with towering plumes of black smoke. Finally, he notices you and smiles, shaking off his stupor.
It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how could you possibly be of use to my army?
My name is Socio Vainik. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
What are you painting? The cleric's eyes linger mournfully on the canvas. The unfinished painting depicts a temple crowned with a rainbow-tailed bird, the symbol of Shellen. 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple. Men and women, young and old. They all gaze back at you with radiant happiness and joy in their serene eyes.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help, and then
The
they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on her way to Nerosian, and hurriedly returned to Canabras, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple. I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
This is why you have to treasure every moment you spend with the ones you love. Today, you're together, but who knows what tomorrow may bring.
You're right. I took their company for granted and never even imagined that they might just disappear in the blink of an eye. So many words left unspoken.
Socio sighs heavily.
Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
You wanted to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabras behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
It was nice meeting you. Now I have to go.
You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Okay. Go talk with Darren. I'd love to visit Heaven's Edge and see the Iron Day Estate someday. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking. Now that I'm in the middle of this whole crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. With all the recent commotion, my birthday completely slipped my mind. What if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It's not far from here, and you'll get to enjoy a banquet in a bona fide haunted house. Darren seems to have trouble getting the words out, which clearly indicates how rarely he has to ask for anything. Since you're my superior, and I am your advisor, I am obliged to ask for your permission to leave for the festivities. And I want to invite you, too. I'm sure the commander can free up an afternoon while the soldiers are on leave. Alright, deal. Perfect. You'll have a ball. I'll make sure of it. So how do you like your new role advisor? Darien winces. You also enjoy poking me with that stick, don't you? Imagine it. Me, a crusader. If my dearest cousin hoped to teach me lessons, she managed it perfectly. An assignment I couldn't avoid without losing face. This idiotic journey leading straight into the demon's maws. I could have been on a pleasure boat right now with the loveliest songstress in Pitax on my arm, and a bottle of the finest Kionan wine to keep us company. Did you also receive a fraction of that unusual power? Looks like it. I genuinely hoped that getting away from you would be the end of it. If your gift truly did come from Amulet, then giving me a smidgen of that power was a very subtle joke on her part. I had no idea that our divine Lightbringer of Mendev even had a sense of humor. Don't get me started on my many acts of sacrilege against her. That obscene engraving, the truth about the test of the Starstone, is the tamest one by far. I should go.
Let us be careful.
May Canabras be damned. That's interesting. I spit on the streets of Canabras. I spit on its granite walls and its stained glass windows. If tomorrow the ground trembles, splits apart, and devours this cursed city, I will not shed one tear. No one here, not a single soul, deserves any compassion. Everyone who lives in this city is a criminal. If there were any justice in this world, every one of them would be hanging from the gallows. Prelate Hallrun and Queen Galfrey chief among them. Ask anyone on the streets what they know of mongrels. The answer will be dumb silence, with the lowered eyes of a scoundrel who knows their crimes but doesn't want to think about it. Mongrels, a disgusting nickname which the residents of the city have given to the brave crusader heroes who defeated the forces of evil but paid for it with their health. Covered with scabs and tumors, bloated and gnarled, they were no longer beautiful enough to be tolerated by the very people they'd saved. As a reward for their heroism, the city dwellers exiled them to the sewers and damp caves beneath the city. The author of these words went down there and spoke with them, and I'll have you know all that the ugliest of them is more noble than all the paladins in Mendev, not to mention that head-chopping prelate and his murderous queen. And if any pretend that today's city dwellers aren't responsible for the crime of their grandfathers, then I will spit in their face, for the grandchildren of the exiled are still down there, crawling in the mud and eating garbage. And everyone who knows about this and does nothing, and everyone who should know but prefers blissful ignorance, I say they are all guilty, and they repeat the same crime every day. And as long as this doesn't change, any citizen who desires to fight with the demon should take a knife and stab themselves in the stomach. For your city has already rotten, and you are no better than the demons. That's a weird. Yeah, that sentence was written weirdly. And if anyone would repent and right this terrible wrong, they should turn their weapons on the prudish paladins who preach good but defend an order that flies in the face of justice. Down with the paladins. Down with Prelate Hallrun. Down with Queen Galfrey. Okay.
Tread lightly.
I remember seeing that. Horgus Grim has been expecting you, thumb stuck in his belt. There you are. I've been waiting. As you see, I too have joined the crusade. I don't know how to swing the sword, but war is costly, and I have money. Besides, my intellect and business sense may prove useful even on the battlefield. Besides, I believe Horgus shifts awkwardly from foot to foot. I believe I owe you an apology. The way I behaved was rude, ill-mannered. You were an honest and honorable person. You clawed your way up from the bottom of society to take to the title of Knight Commander, and you are friends with Queen Galfrey herself. Such persistence deserves respect. Horgus tilts his head in a brief acknowledgement of your merits. Please allow me to give you this magic amulet from my humble personal treasury, to mark our future cooperation. Yeah, he's not going to say anything important. Okay. Amulet of Blackened Mirror. Ooh. Where's my witch? Okay, so you get that. And what was the other thing that I got? The wearer has weapon finesse. This amulet allows her to apply dexterity modifier and place the strength modifier at all damage rolls with. I could lose 2 AC? No, not worth it. Just put +1. swear I got something. Did I just already equip it? Nope. Tankard or Free Spirit? Yeah, that's not it. It's annoying. Could have sworn I got something. Yeah, the belt thingy, right? Flow of water, storyteller's ring. Maybe pause. Okay, I'm a little irritated that I can't find it now. Oh, there it is. Okay. Symbol of Amulet, when placed in the belt, emits a holy aura. All party members in 30 feet get a +2 bonus to caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. Their weapons become good aligned and count as if they were made of cold iron. What's going on my belt? Cool. Knew I got something out of that. Okay, Mysterious Elf. Damn it, you again, soldier. I saw you talking to that girl hiding her face. Who was she and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself. But I bet she's not a part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and by sight. Lisser frowns gloomily, his cordiality gone in an instant. She was looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see it all looks mighty shifty. The quartermaster eyes you with concern. She was some sort of spy then. Show me what you have. That back. And any others? I think I'll take a dagger for it. So that. Wait. So that. Bulk. Star knife. Okay. Fine scales. Guess we're 10% chance to miss due to concealment. 7 and 3. Bring that. You can't wear it, so that doesn't matter. Okay. There we go. Armors. Ring of protection +2. Mithril chain shirt. Oh. It's already a mithril chain shirt. Okay. 6 and 6. I'm not too worried about his defenses. Maybe later. Adamantine full plate. 18,650. How much do I currently have? Rock of Nature. Wide Sweep. Apologies, enemies. Yeah. Amulet of Jousting. When aware of this amulet, declares a knight's challenge. He gains a +3 damage bonus against the challenge enemy. Okay. So. Mithril Chainmail. Adamantine Full Plate. Armor made from adamantine grants this wear damage reduction 1 if it's light, 2 if it's medium, and 3 if it's heavy armor. Adamantine is so costly that weapons and armor made from it are always masterwork quality. The masterwork cost is included in the prices given. Thus, adamantine weapons and ammunition have a +1 enhancement bonus on attack rolls, and the armor check penalty of adamantine armor is lessened by 1 compared to ordinary armor of its type. Items without metal parts cannot be made from adamantine. An arrow could be made of adamantine, but a quarterstaff could not. So, I'm going to go ahead and buy that. Still getting... Oh no, I'm giving him 5,000. So, buy the ring protection +2. Over this, wielder +2 temporary lands a hit with a chaotic evil creature. It applies a -1 penalty to the creature's damage rolls until the end of combat. Penalty stacked up to 5 times. How much is that one? 20. Remember this one. +2 dark construct, cure hut, flat-footed. Okay. Oh, I can't. It's too much money. What if I sell the books? Hi, buddy. Yes? John? You looking for attention? Do you want to get up? Come on. No? You want me to pick you up? Is that a requirement? Oh, who's a happy baby? Say hi to everybody. Okay. Are you comfortable if you just sit on my lap? Okay. Let's just go with that. Are you gonna get up on the desk? What are we doing here? You've got to have my arm, huh? Okay. Okay. Gonna sell a bunch of these scrolls. Oops. Hold on to that. When did I lose one of her scales? That's interesting. Okay. That's the 0. That's better. Boom. Okay, give you the full plate. Whoa, whoops. Close. I'll take care of that later. Breastplate. Got a weapon, you're fine. You got your starting stuff, you're fine. Got a bow. Can't really equip anything anyways. Neither can you. I don't want to give you armor anyhow. Oh, but you need a bow. I'll worry about that later. Okay. You. That's still fine. Rapier +1. Short sword +1. To confirm a critical hit. Can also confirm a critical hit. Just whenever it lands a hit. Critical hit. Just a +1. Okay. Do need to go back to the drawing board on her. She's not working out the way I thought she would, which isn't the end of the world. Oh yeah, one last thing. Talk to Nura. Knight Commander, how can I help? There's much I can do. Just ask. Nura looks at you with eyes filled with enthusiasm. She's holding a notebook and a traveler's inkwell. You've probably heard about the wound I have, and the one that sometimes opens on my chest. Can you perhaps tell me if it's some kind of demonic curse? Yes, indeed. I've been told of your affliction. Nura appears at the center of your chest. Can you will the wound to open? No? That's a shame. What can you tell me about this wound? Well, it's difficult to say. I know of blades that leave never-healing cuts, of poisons that stop wounds from healing. I've heard of witches' curses that are rewarded with eternal wounds. But wounds that seem to reopen and heal over and over? Perhaps you know of other cases like this? Let's think. In 4671, a Mendevian army corporal had all his bones and cartilage turned to glass. In 4700, a scribe in Canabras had all her skin simply come away like she'd been boiled. And in 4638, oh, you don't happen to have insects crawling over you? Locusts? No? Rats, perhaps? Too bad. Do you think it's dangerous? It most likely is dangerous, but you are under the protection of Iomade, Commander. She granted you mythic power, as they say. Surely the Inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed that the wound opens at moments when you waver in your faith? Perhaps it's triggered by doubt. Frowning Nura looks at you with sincere concern. Thank you for your answers. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you anything useful. I will be sure to study this matter and consult a few of my encyclopedias. Tell me about yourself. Oh my, I could tell you so many amazing things, and you choose the most boring one of all? But I'll write about myself then. Where are you from? Isgir, a small piece of land that proudly calls itself a country, though it hasn't been independent for a single day in all the centuries it's existed. They have a lot of national pride, but all of it is borrowed, always looking to the great day when they can at last be free from the rule of Chiliax. The Isgari love talking politics. If two of them start bargaining over beats at the market, you can be sure that they'll end up arguing about whether an independent Isgir will be a monarchy or a republic. I've always found it funny to listen to, and a little disgusting. You see, there are a lot of us halflings in the country, but very few are citizens. Most are slaves. I was lucky. I've always been clever ever since I was little, so they sent me to school instead of making me do the grunt work. They taught me to count and write, and I was sold as a secretary to Lord Axelar Tresbot. He's the one I left Isgir with. Never to return, I hope. How did you come to serve Queen Galfrey? I was a slave of Lord Axelar Tresbot in Isgir, my homeland. Oh, what a man he was. He towered over me, his fellows like a rock... towered over his fellows like a rock over a garbage heap. A true hero. He bought me as a simple secretary, but he made me learn the history of the Whirlwind. All of it, one volume after another. He hired tutors for me, even sent me to meet prominent historians. He didn't want a simple slave. but a slave with an impeccable education. Lord Tresbot was going on a crusade. He firmly believed that the servants of the good gods were weak, and only a follower of Asmodeus could stand against the demon invasion. He took me along as a secretary, a historian, and most importantly, he entrusted me with recording his glorious story for future generations. In his crusade, Lord Tresbot performed many brave feats, but even he could not stand against the whirlwind alone. In his final battle with the demons, when my lord realized he was doomed, his final act was to cover my retreat so that I could tell the world of his great deeds. Some people have said that what he did was not heroic, just an arrogant moron puffing himself up one last time. But I say curse their tongues. My difficult journey ended in Mendev, where I found my freedom. There I published Lord Tresbot's biography, and I don't want to boast, but who am I kidding? Of course I do. The book sold in great numbers and made me rather famous for a time. That's what brought me to the Queen's attention. She invited me to her court. After all, she was curious about my deceased lord, and she was in great need of an expert on the history of the whirlwind. I hope you'll find me as useful as well. So you're not just a historian, but a writer too? Will you write a book about my crusade? Why not? As soon as we finish out the demons, I'll get right to it. Just take care that you don't end up like Tresbot. Do you worship any deity? She makes a wry face. When I was a slave in Iskar, they would beat me with a stick to force me into believing in Asmodeus. They hit me and said it was for my own good. Ever since then, I don't like temples. I realize there are different gods, like Desna or Caden, who teach goodness and freedom. But it's just, as soon as I smell frankincense, I see the slave driver stick. Maybe one day I'll be able to turn to a deity without cringing from a blow from not being reverent, or for not being reverent enough. But for now I'll let the others pray for me. Nura's smile trembles and collapses. Nura sounds sincere, but you feel that she's holding something back. Thank you for your answers. Tell me the history of the whirlwind. Oh, I could talk about that for hours. What exactly do you want to know? Tell me about Old Sarkors. It was an unforgiving country inhabited by numerous tribes of killer barbarians. Imagine Numeria, but without the Metal Mountains or the realm of Mammoth Lords, or the realm of the Mammoth Lords, but with a milder climate. That's Sarkors. The country was ruled by priests of forgotten deities and shamans. It's said that even back then, before the whirlwind, the boundary between worlds was especially thin in this region. Since ancient times, Ascarius had his claws sunk deep into the minds of the locals. His cults thrived here for many centuries. Eredin tried to stamp them out, but in the end, of course, he passed away. How did the whirlwind come to be? It happened the year Eredin died, 4606, a little over a century ago. No one knows if the timing was coincidental or if there was some connection with Eredin's death, but I'll tell you what we do know. The priests and shamans who ruled Sarkors hated arcane magic and only practiced it. Wizards and sorcerers were driven from the land, or worse. One of their prisons held a witch named Aurilo Vorlish. We know nothing about her besides her name, and of course the atrocities she committed. By some unknown method, she managed to harness the terrible power of the demon lord Discari. Together, they tore open the barrier between worlds, opening a rift to the abyss in the very middle of Sarkors. The whirlwind slowly but mercilessly expanded, devouring more and more land. In a matter of years, Sarkors was a memory. After a moment of silence, Nira adds softly, "Sometimes I think what they did to Aurilu in that prison. Just imagine, she was ready to give herself to the abyss. If only the demons might devour her torturers along with her. To imagine such hatred, it terrifies me." Tell me about the First Crusade. It began in 4622. Yes, it took the church and the secular authorities nearly 2 decades and hundreds of thousands of lives before they decided to take action. In the meantime, Sarkors was only supported by handfuls of volunteers. By the time the crusade began, the demons had already invaded Mendev. The Crusaders pushed them back in what must have seemed a total triumph at the time. The forces of good easily crushing the demons on all fronts. They erected Dresden on the lands they conquered, an indestructible fortress and the capital of the Crusader movement. In 4630, 8 years after it began, the First Crusade was declared victorious. It was the first triumph of the Crusaders, and unfortunately the last. Tell me about the Second Crusade. In 4638, the whirlwind suddenly started expanding, and a new wave of demons appeared. The Crusaders were all but delighted. Last time, they'd routed the forces of the Abyss, and they welcomed another chance to prove themselves. But this time, everything was different. Instead of scattered gangs, they faced a large and organized army. Dresden was besieged, and the Crusaders lost all the ones they'd won back before. They had to retreat, and all that remained of Sarkors was left to the demons. But while the monsters were devouring the unprotected lands, the Crusaders erected a chain of wardstones along the border with the whirlwind. We have Aeomede and her herald to thank for their help. It was the Second Crusade's only victory, but it halted the wound's growth. The catastrophe had become a stalemate, at the cost of tremendous sacrifice. Tell me about the Third Crusade. About 50 years after the opening of the World Wound, Dascari found an ally. Baphomet entered the war, a cunning, insidious demon lord who prefers deception to open conquest. He set his enemies against each other and lures the virtuous onto the path of wickedness. Traitors appear among the Crusaders, secret agents of his cult. For a time, no one suspected a thing, even as they watched helplessly as the Crusader movement fell to ruin. Where once valor proudly stood, now greed and dumb cruelty reigned. The outrage was drowned in apathy. In 4665, the Church announced a new crusade, hoping to boost morale. They didn't exceed, to put it mildly. Some fought the demons in earnest, and for a time they even dared hope to retake Dresden. But the Third Crusade would be remembered as a witch hunt in every sense. Inquisitors hoped to purge any cultists from the ranks of their fighters, but instead they got a barrage of denunciations, widespread suspicion, and innocent victims. It sometimes happened that two orders would denounce each other as traitors and wipe each other out, much to the demon's delight. Just 3 years later, in 4668, the Church put the disgrace to an end. Of all the Crusades, that one was the least glorious. Tell me about the Fourth Crusade. Of course, the demons had no intention of sitting quietly caged behind the ward stones. They kept attacking Canabras, trying to reach the stone and destroy it, or just scratch its surface, or even if that wasn't possible, befall it. The Crusaders drove the demons away from the city again and again. The Fourth Crusade would be the last for 15 years, an exhausting study in positional warfare. The demons attacked and they were pushed back. The Crusaders went on the offensive, but were forced to retreat, and all the while, the losses were tremendous. The Fourth Crusade's only achievement was that they didn't let a single ward stone fall. They didn't manage to retake a sliver of land, to say nothing of Dresden. So many lives just to maintain the stalemate. You can imagine how that affected morale. Thank you for your answers. My pleasure. You must remember to stop me or I'll go on about it forever. I have to go. If you have any questions, come back. Okay. Commander, allow me to say something. Earbeth looks even more serious than usual. Before you, this wasn't a war. It was agony, drawn out over decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing, but somehow I got through on stubbornness and the vague hope that if nobody found Anevia's body, she might by some miracle have survived. And that miracle was you. You returned my beloved to me when I nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to the Grey Garrison and won the city back for us. You turned a defeat into a victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. You do everything just like that, she says with a snap of her fingers. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me, they're just more proof of what I felt that day when I saw Anevia alive standing next to you. You're the miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who will finally put an end to this terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what the others could not. I found a scabbard with your family name on it in the Great Garrison. Erebeth looks down. This scabbard held the Solemn Hour, my family sword. My father once fought with it, and I took it when I left home to become a paladin. At last, it was not stolen. I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. Anevia needed expensive healing, and having no other way to procure the money, I pawned my father's sword. I think he would have understood. I'm sure he would have given up everything to help the family. I hoped to redeem the Solemn Hour eventually, but there was never enough money, and soon the sword disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I have no idea who took it. Seems like I'll have to part with my father's sword forever. Is Anevia sick? You'll forgive me if I don't go into detail. It's a private matter. Suffice to say, everything is fine now. The treatment was costly, but it was worth it. You had the Order's coffers at your disposal. How can you even suggest that? Erebeth lovingly traces the name imprinted on the silver scabbard's leather. My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or a coat of arms. Still, however humble our name might be, it is worth something. I don't know if I'll ever see Solemn Hour again, but at least I have its scabbard back, thank you. We need reinforcements. Can you get us more soldiers? Erebeth frowns. When we began the march on Dresden, we chose speed over numbers. If I order more volunteers to be recruited, they simply won't arrive in time. We could pay mages to deliver the troops to the camp, except that I doubt our army's coffers could afford it. If you can spare 7,500 gold coins, I would see to our reinforcements. You have your orders. This is Crusader stuff. Consider it done. I have to go. Earbeth says goodbye with a short bow. Okay, so I've done all the talking that I need to do. Went through most of the equipment. I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to do all the leveling and stuff off screen since it takes a good amount of time. But yeah, so thanks for joining me once again. Like if you enjoyed the video. Comment if you have any builds or anything you want me to try out or test or have any suggestions. And I hope to see you next time.